Thanks for having us. We are definitely here for all these talks. It's really awesome to hear all this content, and also um, the music primarily is always why I come. So I'm Annie. I am a AI solutions engineer at Acre Security, and I brought my manager Jeff along because this is really like a lot of these ideas are his thought leadership. So I'll let him introduce himself real quick.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Annie. I'm Jeff. I'm Director of Engineering for AI at Acre Security. I have about just under 25 years experience in developing software and hardware. And not too long ago, I founded a company that built some AI products specifically for the industry that we are in. And we went through acquisition, joined up with Acre, and then I had the pleasure of meeting Annie. And yeah, we're really excited to talk to you guys today. So thanks for having us.
Cool. Thanks, Jeff. And if you're listening in and you're building agents, but you aren't quite sure how to scale an evaluations process and make it robust to be able to put agents in production, then you're in the right place because we're going to show you how we do that. So, just for context, a little bit like high level what we do. Acre is a physical security company, so things like badges and readers, access control, how you get in and out of spaces. Um, AI agents are definitely becoming a part of this industry really quickly, and there's a race to solve these common problems. The people that we're solving them for are people like installers, operators, and enterprise users, trying to change things from using really technical processes to more natural language oriented processes. And um, so I think like by now most of you already kind of have a definition for what an agent is. But I think one of the things that's important is that it's still a software system, and even though there's parts of it that are non-deterministic, it really needs to be evaluated in the same way, or I mean, even more expansive way than traditional software testing. And Jeff actually kind of came up with these ideas for these cartoons. So I want him to kind of explain his thinking around why evaluations really improve quality.
Yeah, so thanks, Annie. So yeah, I mean, so my specific target audience around the world right now is maybe people who don't have a lot of familiarity with agents and evals. So this mental model that I have is is here in the cartoons, and it shows that like when the user interacts with the agent, right, we sort of have a loop that's non-deterministic, and the agent is going to interact with maybe an LLM or multiple LLMs several times, and we might not always know the decisions that are made at decision points, right? And so what we want is, I have this analogy of the X-ray machine, so that we can peek inside or look under the hood in terms of what's actually happening when the agent interacts with the LLMs. And so the big takeaway here is that for me, this is how we, at the end of the day, one of our mantras, or what's in our ethos, is quality. Like, it's all about quality. And so um, anybody who's building agents, you can't really go off of feel. Like, if you feel that it's working well, you really need to understand what's going on. So if you want to drive quality and explainability, it's very important that we actually have evals.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think going off of that, like there's a lot of ways that evaluations of agents are similar to maybe how you would design software testing or even machine learning model testing. But because AI agents have parts that are non-deterministic, what really enhances agent evaluations is one, the metrics that you're designing and that you're choosing to evaluate your agent, which tend to get really creative because it's a different problem that you're trying to kind of evaluate. And then also the tools that you used, not literally like agents tools that they're using, but like the frameworks that you use for evaluation to make it very systematic. And I know this is like a lightning talk, so I kind of want to get to like the sexy part of how we do some of our evals. So I'm gonna speed through this, but at Acre we version everything first off. So every version of an agent might include the prompts, the instructions, the code, the tools that were used. Some of this gets versioned within like each version of the code. But then also we store a lot of these evaluation logs as well. So I want to show you really quick two of the tools that we use, and let me try to share this. So one of the tools that we use is called Logfire, and Logfire is built by Pydantic. I'm not like a Logfire salesperson, but we really like it because it's great for drilling down agent runs. So I don't know, let me see if I can like zoom in on this a little bit. But basically, Logfire will log each time that your agent runs, and it will trace basically like how long your agent run was. It will tell you everywhere from like the system prompt all the way to the user's prompt, so what was entered by the user. And then it will show you in detail kind of like the agent's output, which is really important. When Jeff was giving the X-ray analogy, I think sometimes it's hard to determine like which tools your agent used and if your agent used it in the correct order that you were expecting. So like this agent is just like a simple math agent. I think it has two tools for multiplication and addition, but we can see in this run, the user prompt was 2 + 2 × 4. And then it kind of breaks down in detail what the agent is doing and which tools it used. And so we find this really useful, not only for evaluation before deployment, but also like in production, having these logs so that we can trace back the results of each tool. And then one other really cool tool that we're using is called Confident AI, and it's like the library, the open source library behind it is Deep Evals, but similar to something like MLflow, it traces your runs of your evaluations, and it will give you an overview of how many of your evaluations passed your metrics, and then you can also drill down into each case that you put into your actual evaluation and kind of troubleshoot from there. And just for context, also like we're a super lean team. It's Jeff and I and one other developer, and so I think it's really like we could definitely build our own tools for this, and that's definitely an option as well. But this makes it really easy for us to perform quality evaluations quickly. And then also like Deep Eval offers a lot of different metrics, like built metrics, especially for conversational agents and things like that. And then they also offer, you can build your own custom metrics. So it gets really creative.
Yeah, and I just want to double click on that. I mean, I think the main takeaway, like Annie said, we have a small team, so we don't want to reinvent the wheel and try to build our own tooling. But it's my opinion that evals sort of make or break an AI project or product like this. And so you need really good tooling. And if you can't roll your own, then it's important to find good stuff that's commercial off the shelf. And you want to try to find something that, like Annie said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel on the eval platform itself, but that you can fine tune the metrics so that they work for your business case. And you make sure that you're evaluating metrics and scoring that's really tied off tightly to your business loop. So.
Yep, that's kind of a perfect conclusion to this. So thank you so much, and connect with us on LinkedIn if you feel like it. And thank you.
So I've got one question, and it is how you chose Logfire. How and why?
Go ahead, Annie. You want to answer that?
I like
Well,
the preface. I don't work for Logfire. I don't sell for them at all. But you chose it, and there's probably some reasons. So I want to know.
I'm going to defer to Jeff because, like, I mean, like I love Logfire now that we're using it, but I think it was his idea originally.
Yeah, I mean, the answer is pretty simple. There are probably other things out there, but I'm a big fan of the people that build all of the Pydantic products. So, I know that we just saw talk about, the merit of agentic frameworks, but I mean, I think Pydantic really stands on its own just in general in the Python community. And now we have Pydantic AI, which is a framework that I think is one of the one of the easiest frameworks to use. And it's kind of slept on a little bit. I think you don't hear about it a lot, but I really love it. And so as an extension of that, the creators of Pydantic also, make this logging utility. And I think it's pretty comprehensive. I like the user experience on it, and it's not just for observability on agentic applications. You can use it to actually log it to ship out logs for any kind of application that you want to do. But it was purpose built with the idea of running LLM powered or agentic applications. Like the makers at Pydantic, they thought like they went out there to try to find something while they were building maybe LLM apps, and there was nothing out there. So they were like, let's tailor something to what the developers are going to really want. And their ethos is like, we want to make tools that are really developer friendly. Like, I don't know the people at Pydantic, but from what I read, like this is their whole mantra is like, we want to make shit really easy for developers to use. And so we just started checking it out, and I loved everything about it. And so until we find something that's better, like that's going to be the horse that we choose for this race.
That's amazing. If you ever want to know more about Pydantic, I found the biggest fan, and that is the creator of Fast API.
Oh
Sebastian.
yeah. He's amazing. Amazing dude.
Yeah. And if you ever if you utter the word Pydantic around him, you better clear your schedule.
His story in its own right is amazing too. Fast API is one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most amazing things ever built with Python. So cool, dude.
Yes, I literally just did a podcast with him and mistakenly said, "So why do you like Pydantic?" We talked about that for like the first 20 minutes of the podcast. So yeah, that's cool to hear about Logfire. I appreciate it. And Lack was just talking about it in the last talk. Pydantic is a great one to choose because it's very flexible in its ways.
Yeah.
So, folks, thank you so much for this. We're gonna jump to the next talk.